So continuing to our series as we take a look at the Western Conference as we continue the first round preview for each of the Stanley Cup playoff rounds. And today we're out on the West Coast as we take a look at the number 3 Dallas Stars as they take on the number 8 Calgary Flames. We'll be taking a look at the two teams, how they match up head to head, and my prediction for who will win this series. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. And let's take a look at this matchup between the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames. So this is an interesting matchup. You have two pretty solid teams here. You've got the Dallas Stars, who were in the top 4 in the Western Conference. So they were in the round robin series, where you have the Calgary Flames, who have had their success over the past couple of seasons, but just really haven't been able to get things going in the playoffs. They will have a huge opportunity in this series against the Dallas Stars. So taking a look at the round robin for the Dallas Stars did pretty well. They got 3rd out of the 4 teams, so that's not the best. They definitely had their points where they struggled. That Vegas game really was glaring right off the bat. They were up 3-0. Ended up losing that game in regulation 4-3 to the Vegas Golden Knights. Actually 5-3 to the Vegas Golden Knights. So that was a disappointing effort there for the Dallas Stars, and was a little bit concerning. Not to mention now that we have officially heard that Ben Bishop and Tyler Seguin may be out for a large portion of this series. That's a real big issue for the Dallas Stars, considering they already lack some forward depth. Now, the good news is, in between the pipes, they will have Anton Khudobin, who will start for the Dallas Stars, but losing Ben Bishop, definitely a big loss for the Dallas Stars. And like I said, Tyler Seguin, their number 1 center, being out of the lineup, that's going to hurt them too. That's a big loss overall. So we're going to see Roope Hintz really get an opportunity to shine, as he's going to be on that top line, and he will be tested against this Calgary Flames team. We saw how good this Calgary Flames team did in their last series. They really played a solid game, and they made it difficult for the Winnipeg Jets to really generate much. And I think they're going to try and do that here against the Dallas Stars. The Calgary Flames, we've seen what they've done. I think the big issue with the Calgary Flames is the goaltending. A goaltender in Calgary there in David Rittich or Cam Talbot, are they going to be able to hold up against Anton Khudobin, who has been one of, if not the best backups in the NHL over the past couple of seasons? It's definitely going to be a test here for the Calgary Flames in between the pipes. And you got both teams who have some very good leadership in both groups. The depth is pretty solid. I mean, you look at Radek Faksa, Sam Bennett, down in that bottom 6, and I think those guys are going to be huge difference makers in this series. Whichever one produces more, probably going to be the winner of this series. You've got the top guys there in Calgary, guys like Monahan, Goudreau, Elias Lindholm, who had a great season this year. So it's going to be a difficult series overall. I think both teams, though, look really solid. You look at the matchup between these two teams head to head. The Calgary Flames went 2-1 in the 3 games against the Dallas Stars. It was a 3-2 shootout victory in the first one for the Flames, a 3-1 loss for the Calgary Flames, and a 5-1 victory for the Flames in that third meeting. So both these teams, it's been pretty even overall. But the big issue for the Dallas Stars that I'm very concerned about is Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn being out. And the question is, how long are they out of the lineup? And even when they do, they may be a little bit of a step behind in their recovery. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this series. I like both teams. I like what they did during the regular season. And whoever gets out of this series, I think it's a good step for them. It's a good way to really show, all right, we could get past the first round, because we saw the Dallas Stars do it last season, but I think seeing them do it consistently, they want to be considered one of those Cup favorites. I think they're on the road to that. You've got guys like Maro Heiskanen, John Klingberg, Esa Lindell on that blue line, and I would expect them to be in a position where they could go on a deep playoff run. If not this season, in the next couple of seasons. The window is there, especially with Ben Bishop where he is at. And now with his injuries, that may even be closing sooner. So we'll see what happens with the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames in this series. My prediction, I really like the Calgary Flames in this series. I like how they played last series against the Winnipeg Jets. I thought the Winnipeg Jets were a very solid team, and for them to knock off the Winnipeg Jets, that's pretty solid. That's not that easy to do. They were able to score goals against Connor Hellebuyck, who is up for the Vezina, who is a Vezina candidate in this year's 2020 NHL Awards. So that's definitely difficult that they were able to do that. So they're going to have a little bit of an easier test, I think, in Anton Khudobin. And it's no knock on Khudobin, but he is not the same level as Connor Hellebuyck. And if they're able to score the way they were, play the structured game that they were, I think it's going to be difficult for the Dallas Stars. As long as the Calgary Flames can play their game, I think it's going to make it difficult for the Stars and those, the top guys on the Dallas Stars to get things going. So, prediction. I think the Calgary Flames win this series in 6 games. I like what they've done. Goaltending's a little bit of a concern here for the Calgary Flames, but they were able to win a round last season, in the qualifier. So it's definitely belief that they can get things done. Khudobin's going to be an interesting wild card in this series. I think he could be a huge difference maker for the Dallas Stars if they want to have a chance in this series. But I think the Calgary Flames will be too much, and they will get things done in 6 games. So comment down below. Who do you think will win this series? You got the number 3 Dallas Stars and the number 8 Calgary Flames. I think the number 8 Calgary Flames will come in with the upset. So let me know down below. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.